You ready, lad?
Yeah.
Alright, let's do this. Hello, folks, of course. It is 9 o'clock Sunday night UK time. It can mean only one thing. It's chatting time, innit? How you doing? Right, as you can see, we have people chatting. I see them in the chat. Just let me open my chat window. I'll have cats screaming at me a minute, telling me I've got to open the the question doc, so let better do that. As you can see, I've got the boy here with me.
Hi. Yes, sir.
What happened?
Little bits.
Right, responses. Let's open this up. Delete all responses. Yes. And we are ready. Right, that's the doc open. Right, there we go.
It's in paint on that, it's not working.
Say again?
It's paint on, it's not working.
What do you mean your paint tub's not working?
It's not working, can't get paint on it.
You gotta work it up. You gotta paint there. Oh, that's easy to get paint out, mate. Oh, yeah?
It's too small.
I have to clean your end off.
Yeah.
Right, guys. Yeah, great. Is that cool? Not really on the screen there, mate, are you? You're getting a bit tall, actually. Your stool's really high, isn't it?
What's that? See if I can lower it.
Go on, take it off to the side and give it a spin, lad.
Oh.
He's dismantled the stool. Oh, Corb.
I saw a video of someone jump on a stool. Like an office chair.
Right. Oh, don't. No, don't. Don't even go there. Just don't. We've been playing Blood Bowl all weekend, we have, haven't we?
Yeah.
Right, that's the top.
A bit smaller now.
I have 100 draft on in the background. What's 100 draft? Big shout out to Kez and a great weekend. Kez went off to Army Cadet Force selection. She passed selection. And then on top of that, they've asked her to become an officer. So, year's training, then off to Sandhurst for Kerry.
How long's it ship at Sandhurst for?
I imagine it's got to be at least a week. Do you know what I mean? But we'll find out,
I know my deck commander went up there.
Well, I mean, all your commanders will have gone, because it's Sandhurst.
Yeah, well, you know, like... I know he went.
You're going to have to salute your mum. Don't hurt yourself. Who won? Right, new cricket tournament starting next year. The draft is taking place tonight. Right, okay. It's a cricket thing. Tam saying, hi Mel, hi Corb, hi James.
Hi.
Went to Selwyn today, hardly spent a penny. James, what's going on? From Horsham, UK. I'm going to be making trouble with a layout in a wasteland in a train group. You do it, Jolie. And then she will officially be the boss. She already is. Right. The Google Doc is open. This is a terrain question and answers. I'm guessing it's the regular crowd, to be perfectly honest, for most of you guys. Yeah, as we've been ticking over. So, links down below in the description. If you'd like to ask a question, dead simple, just jump down below. Click the link. You don't need to be logged into anything. Just go to the form, enter what platform you're on, what your question is, and your screen name so I know who's asking it. I've got one from Will and one from Otis at the minute. So we'll let those build up and I'll take it from there. Now remember, guys, yeah, I do finish the show when I run out of questions because it is Sunday night and Mel does like his bed. Yeah, so... yeah, you better get submitting those questions.
Keep going for as long as possible. I get stay up.
Right, so anything good at Selwig? Because most of you seem to, quite a lot of you seem to have gone. James is saying, no idea, mate. Didn't see much I fancied adding to the metal mountain. We've all got these metal mountains. We need to start having proper paint sessions as well. And get these painted up.
Yep.
He's been doing his, just slowly starting to work up his Blood Bowl guys.
Yep.
You're just getting a bit of colour on them at the minute, aren't you?
Yeah, then I go into more detail and make sure they're nice and beautiful after. With like a tiny little bit
That's the battle plan.
Yeah.
Do you know, I was thinking of playing him. I play humans because he likes orcs. But I've got the first Blood Bowl set up in the attic.
Oh, yeah.
The very first one. From before he was born. And I've got my orcs, which look considerably different, all painted up in them. Oh, look. Did you see that look? That smile, eh? And I've got the player cards. Now, if you know anything about Blood Bowl, you'll know that when they brought the new game out, it wasn't a new game, it was just a reprint. So all the rules are exactly the same and all the stats are exactly the same. So I've got all the stats cards for the Orc team. So there's absolutely no reason whatsoever that one day I can't roll up when he's got his Orcs and he's ready to do his Black Orc stomping. And put some Black Orcs down myself.
Black Orcs down.
Do you know what? Yeah? You know this Orc linesman?
Yeah.
Yeah? The, what do you call it? The old set, the Black Orcs are smaller than him. And they're the beefy ones.
What do throwers like?
Oh, they're tiny. Tiny.
Goblins.
I'll have to dig them out.
What are the goblins like?
Red Green's saying he has a Dark Elf team.
Ooh. I'll have a look at those. It's not quite nice.
They do. They look fiddly to paint, mate.
Yeah, they do. They look fiddly to paint.
Right, but Jace saying Blood Bowl for the win. We'll have to get some games in, Jace.
Oh God, no, not against Jace.
Jolie's talking about a wasteland. And Jace is saying he has far, far too many Blood Bowl minis. You're a bit of a Blood Bowl addict.
He destroys Seawood without quite without.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Jace knows how to play as well. We just bimble at it.
Yeah, we just hope for the best.
Well, basically, our basic plan is like, you know, spend the first couple of turns just trying to kill as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that...
Then try and just get the ball at the pitch.
Yeah. Once you got rid of all the enemy players.
Run. That's it. But Jason would do some dodgy tactics and just turn up on there and beat us in one round.
As for Selwig, a couple of decent tables for terrain. All right. Enzel saying on Twitch, that sounds like the way to play Blood Bowl. Doesn't it just? Doesn't it just? Now, it does say we've got watchers on Facebook and Twitch, so hello, folks.
Facebook?
Yeah, I stream on Facebook as well. Maybe an odd question, but have you ever thought of going ReaperCon and teaching some terrain classes? There's been a lot of talk about going to conventions and teaching classes. Even Dave talked about it, and we talked about it with Adepticon. But you need a certain business visa to do it. And to be truthful, I haven't looked into the actual business visa I need to actually go. And the other side is... our travel scheme is tied into to the US. Is tied into, without getting politics, but it's tied into Europe. Yeah, and what applies now might not apply at the time when we travel and that sort of stuff. So, with regards to committing to anything like that, I'm just, not committing to anything until no facts on the ground. If you fancy playing another team, I have the following from memory. Here we go. Jason's going to list all his teams
Jesus
now.
Christ. Wait, did he have multiple teams?
Oh, here we go. Look, here we go. They are. Humans, orcs, goblins, orcs, ogres, chaos, dwarves, elven union, wood.
Skaven, probably other. Jesus Christ. That must cost a bloody ton.
Oh, Blood Bowl isn't that expensive to get
but
into.
with that number.
Yeah, but I mean, he's probably got the equivalent of a 40k army across all those teams.
Yeah.
If you think about it that way.
Yeah.
Right. Questions. I've got 7 in so far. Right, that's looking good. Shall we get stuck in, folks? First, let me see if I can do a dark theme on this. Because look how bright it makes my face on the screen. Watch that. Watch the screen. Watch my screen. That's the difference that page makes.
Is there just one button you can click? You can change the theme colour.
I can change the theme colour, but it's the background and how bright it is. It's ridiculous. Right, let's reduce it down and see if we can reduce the extreme brightness. Okay. That's a little bit better, isn't it? There you are, that's not too bad. Right. Right, first question is from Will, and I think you're going to have to ask it, Will. Yeah, it's a simple watchtowers / hunting stands for World War II. Right, what about them? What are they? What? I'm lost, dude.
Wait, what did you say?
Watchtowers, hunting stands for World War II. I'm assuming he's asking how to make them, but I'm not. Do you know what I mean?
Switch you up.
What?
It's called the internet. Switch you up.
Dude, they come on the internet to ask me for the answer. I am the internet in this situation. I am Google. I'm Melgoo. What? Moogle. Chase is saying we have a Hall of Fame in my current league with Tom, where all our dead players that have star player points are remembered. Oh. Battlefront Kings saying make them. Well, watchtowers would be quite simple. They're going to be made out of just balsa, aren't they? Balsa, yeah, I mean, you could get away with doing the fascias and the planking with coffee stirrers. You know, get them, trim them, give them a quick drag with a wire brush to abrase them up. Chipping the sides a little with a blade, that's all you really need to do. And then a couple of brown washes to just basically... They used to stain the watchtowers and that sort of stuff with a very dark stain that was waterproofing. So you want a raw umber wash with a bit of black in there. Yeah, but other than that, that's all there is to them. You know, just build them up. Start with your basic frame and then just, timber up the sides and that sort of stuff.
Quality answer.
Out of foam, I wouldn't make them out of foam, to be truthful. Not the wooden watchtowers. I mean, if you talk about the concrete ones, that you're talking like the Normandy bunkers and the stuff that they had on the, on the Channel Islands, then that's foam coving. And in which case, you really want to check out my, my Trenchworks project in the projects playlist.
We went to see one of those, it was bloody insane.
Say again?
We went to see one of those, it was bloody insane.
What, when you were down at Lyd?
No. When you and Mum and Will went on holiday. Went to that one day.
Oh, yeah, we went... No, the they were brick ones, weren't they? If you remember, they were brick buildings. Even though they had the shutters.
It was concrete. It was. We had to walk that path down the right. Cause
you mean right at the end of the point?
Yeah.
Breen
right
down?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
No, Breen down were concrete, but were brick bunkers, mate, not concrete.
I swear it's concrete.
No, watch, here you are. Alright, okay, let's Breen down. Down, fort.
Who are we have?
It's all...
Alright.
Alright then. I mean, the actual casemate, that bit was concrete. So yeah, actually, you're right on that bit.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, you are right, actually. Because the actual gun positions were concrete, but all the actual little watchtowers and things were red brick. Because we went into those, didn't we?
Yeah.
Actually, they're concrete. So yeah, you're right. I'm thinking because there's the main Napoleonic buildings were brick.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of those brick observation points as well. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, if you're interested in concrete stuff, then go check out my Trenchworks, project. Let's Make Trench Systems, I think it was called. Hunting platforms are put in trees for gunning. Oh, right.
I saw that. It's basically they built it into trees with small holes in.
Right.
So that sniper could fit up there. And...
Oh, right, okay. In which case, you're just going to be a little bit of work with the old coffee stirrers.
So I saw a video on that once. Looked quite interesting.
Right, questions. Right. I'm all over the place today. Right, next question. Let's move on. Question 209. Otis? I picked up some fresh aquarium gravel. The question is there anything I need to do prep-wise before I use glue to make sidewalks in the age for pond or lake? Right, no, you don't. Aquarium gravel is cleaned. It's almost sterile. Yeah, they clean all aquarium gravel and bed material is cleaned, basically because they don't want anything getting into the water and killing really expensive fish. So if you buy anything from the aquarium, you're good to go. You know what I mean? And you can just use it straight on your diorama. If you buy it from the builders merchants, then you really need to wash it. You know, because it's not designed. It's not clean. Yeah, so you need to get all the bits off it, all the dust off it, all the all the bacteria and that sort of stuff. So just give it a good clean. Generally, when I'm washing stuff from the builders merchants, I'll use a sieve. Yeah, and I'll just throw it in a sieve, throw it round, move it round in the sieve, get all the dust and all the particles and all the bits off it until it's, bare rock. And then, pardon me, flip it onto a folded tea towel just to, and fold it over just to absorb the excess moisture, and then just leave it out to dry. And once it's dry, bag it up. But aquarium stuff, you're good to go, mate. Hope that helps you, buddy. Cat, have you made any decisions on the half-term time? Will we have a stream next Sunday? Now you should have a stream next Sunday. You're away with Nan, aren't you, for the first weekend? And you're at camp the last weekend, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, we should have a stream. That should be fine, Cat. That was an easy question. Right, moving on. Troph.
Look, it's just a liquid.
Alright, there's a link there, so I need to go copy that.
Why'd you check out the link before you?
Yeah.
He's getting a bit rolled.
Just so I can understand the question.
That'd be well fun. He's got a bit cold.
I'm considering spackling for a mud effect on a trim similar to this and putting barbed wire in the middle. How do you think that would work? I think, the trim picture is just a bit of fascia, wooden fascia, that's beveled with a stylized, the sort of stuff that they put for dado rails and round the bottom of things. I'd probably mix some small aggregates in with the mud, just to give it that rocky bitty texture. Yeah, and then stipple it on. But other than that, it should work absolutely fine. The spackle will fix to the wood without any issues, so there's no concern there. Yeah, I just think you need a little bit of grittiness in your mud mix. Other than that, you'll be good to go with that, using spackle as a mud.
Oh, damn it.
That was an easy one.
I'm problems here, I tell you.
Why, what's up?
It's liquid. It's literally a form of liquid. It's just...
You're orange?
No, my green.
You need to work the
So that's that red.
Take it from the thicker bits.
Actually, I have some. I'll go from the business.
Tell you what, instead of trying to guys,
I'm not the best at this. No.
The paints have dried and he's literally trying to rehydrate them.
No. Have a look.
That's solid, dude.
Exactly.
I think, you need to use paints that actually run. And I also think you put way too much water in them.
I'm sorry.
You have. I said 1 drop and slowly work until they rehydrate.
I put 1 drop and it did nothing. It absorbed into the paint.
So what did you think? Just pour a ton in?
Put a bit more.
A bit more?
And that absorbed. And then put a bit more. And I kept putting bits more. And then eventually there was too much.
And then eventually it was... Well, you could take a new dry bit out there and start afresh with a thicker one, or you can accept defeat and say, Dad, will you bring the proper paints back from the studio?
Can you bring the proper paints back?
I can do that for you, son. I can do that. Do you fancy making your dad a brew? It's a hard question. I'm going to get stuck into these questions while he figures that hard question. Right, moving on from Tro's question. Hope that helped you, buddy. Tobias, hello, buddy. Could you say a few words on storing terrain pieces? What's the genius trick that I don't know about? I actually did a video on storage, didn't I?
I think Norlock green would work.
Yeah.
Right.
If it hasn't dried out.
No, it actually hasn't. If you look at it.
It's still gooey.
It's good paint.
Alright, give it a good stir. Right, I did a video on storage. It's in the Talk Terrain playlist. Yeah, so first off, there's tons of good little tricks in there. Generally, what you've got to do when it comes to storage is if storage is a problem, it's got to be part of the build. Yeah, it's got to be part of the build plan. So when you cut your bases and all that sort of stuff, you need to know what box they're going in. Yeah, so that from the start you are absolutely 100% sure that they're going to fit in the box and you're not going to have awkward storage problems. Yeah, so start off and look at the size of the box, figure what bases can go in there on sitting flat on the bottom. Yeah, another thing that you can do with your boxes is you can put props on the sides, either dowels, bits of foam. Yeah, and then make essentially a shelf to sit in the box. I tend to use those big plastic storage boxes, the stack and store boxes. Yeah, but you can make it so that you can place a shelf in and then place lighter terrain on top. And normally you can get a full set in a single decent sized storage box that way. But only if you actually start and you actually plan what bases will fit in. And that stops all the awkward sort of placing things and that sort of stuff. Now, I'm going to throw this one out. Yeah. And let's throw this one out to the terrainiacs. If you've got any good storage tips, yeah, let me know. Yeah, let me know in the comments. But everything I pretty much know on terrain and storage and all that sort of stuff, it is already in the Terrain Talk playlist, yeah, in the Terrain Talk storage video. Yeah, so go check that out. But my best tip is always, yeah, if storage is an issue, build your terrain for your storage. Yeah, so it always fits and it goes where it needs to go. Because it always saves that situation where you do a box and you can't close the lid because there's one thing that's just too big, or it won't fit on the shelf, and so one piece has to be propped on the side, or if it does go on a shelf, one bit's hanging over a bit. Yeah, all those sort of things are problematic. Yeah, so plan for your storage if storage is an issue. Right, I think that's a good start, and like I say, there's another video there. Right, next one. Bill's asking, oh, thank you, Otis. Otis saying, thank you for all your help. I made a loading ramp last week. Thank you for giving me the confidence to make terrain. My absolute pleasure, mate. And thank you for the super chat. I'm assuming that's going to just pop up in a second now, if they've still tied it in. There we go. Thank you, Otis. Hey, tis terrain. Mel, this will make you laugh. Watched a video where a YouTuber used a clip-on battery-powered mic. He needed a toilet break but forgot to switch the mic off, and everyone heard what he was doing. You see, this is one of the reasons why I'm not going down that route. See, my other reason of not using mics is I haven't got a wireless setup yet. Hopefully, once the funds are in from the book, and the book's all squared away, which will be soon. Yeah, I'll be able to get that sorted, but the idea that my mic would be connected to me and, to a recording device, so that when I do that thing where I get off my chair and just go storming around the studio to grab something, I pull all my camera gear down and, pull over a tripod. So I always, I always like to stick with, desk mics and stuff that I move, the mic doesn't. So that wouldn't happen to me. That'd be mortifying. You can smile.
Yep.
Right. Bill's asking, and I might have to... storage, actually. Storage. Bill's saying, top 2 feet of the walls right next to the ceiling is hardly used, so shelving up there works pretty well. That's very true. And also, you want to keep your terrain off low. Yeah, it's always colder and damper low, lower. So if you've got cold rooms and that sort of stuff, yeah, there's more moisture lower in the room. And terrain has this tendency of absorbing moisture and warping. So keeping your terrain up high also, reduces its chance of warping over time. Right. Bill's asking, I may be painting some 10mm buildings for a friend. What's the going rate for painting stuff like that in the USA or in the UK, but converted into dollars? That's one of those, how long is a piece of string? You see, the problem is you've got people who do it professionally, who charge professional rates and need to because they need to make a living doing it. And then you've got hobbyists, who will do it for nothing. You've got hobbyists that will do it for hobby supplies, and you've got hobbyists that will do it for next to nothing, just as a little bit of income to help the hobby. So there's no market going rate, because at the end of the day you can get it done dirt cheap, next to free, and so what you've really got to do is just decide, right, what's it worth to me? How much do I want to get paid for painting these things? And then you've simply got to put that to your customer next to your work and see if they're happy paying your rate. If they're not happy paying your rate, don't take the job. Simple as. Don't negotiate your rate down. Okay? Don't devalue yourself, because you won't enjoy the job. The job will take longer to... looking good. The job, it won't go well as a job. You know what I mean? And so you'll take longer to do it. And it won't be as what you call it, even though you'll want it to be as good. It won't be as good as what you call it, as if you were getting the rate that you wanted and you didn't have to cut your rates to get the job. So just pick what you want and what you think you want to get paid for it, and then just see if the customer wants it, mate. That's all you can do in those situations. AC/DC. I bet the lad, if you can learn Thunderstruck on the piano, I'll give him 50 quid. Right, question 7 of 14. Just on the storage things, when storing things for a while in plastic containers, throw in a dryer sheet or get cheap ones from the dollar store. This helps the moisture problems and keeps those little bugs out. Good for camping gear. You can do that. You can also get those little silicon packs that you typically get in technology and in shoes and stuff like that absorb moisture. If you can't get any of those, just a little bit of rice thrown in the bottom will do the same thing. That'll soak up the moisture as well. Just normal rice. Right, moving on. Dave Cook. Dave's asking, hey Mel, what's the plans for the workshops you were hoping to set up? I'd love to come. No, no set plans as of yet. I don't actually know if I've got the room. I've been charged the rent for it, but I haven't signed any contracts or anything like that. To explain the situation, I rent a studio out of a large collection of studios, a building with like 43 studios in. And so I have a contract with the charity that runs them, the arts charity that provides the studios, and I was talking about taking on this new studio for workshops and that sort of stuff. We were going down the line and we'd agreed that I'd take it on, and I'd take it on from the start of October, but they hadn't sorted the contract because it was slightly different, because I already had a studio. Yeah, and this was my second studio, and they don't normally do that. So in that process, the girl who was sorting it left. Yeah, and it looks like she set up the billing, yeah, but the paperwork hasn't come through. So technically I've paid for a studio that I have no contract on. Now, that's perfectly cool because I've worked with this charity for years. This is kind of how, it's a charity in the arts sector. This is just how they roll. Yeah, I've spoken to the studio manager. He's like, yeah, well, I know that's your studio, and if they're billing you for it, I'll get you a key and we'll sort the paperwork when London sort it out. Head office. Yeah, they are lovely people, but, you know, I've often come across and I've found when it comes to business administration, the arts is sadly lacking. It's, you know, it's two ends of two different, of an extreme spectrum. Yeah, and so yes, I've got the space. I need to set it up and that sort of stuff. So that's going to be something I want to do over Christmas, ready for the new year. The workshops, I'm thinking weekend, probably 1 day or 2 day. There's a hotel on site, so there's free parking, hotel. There's places to eat on site. Yeah, it's a cultural development centre, so it's about a 10-acre site that's slowly being developed with all sorts of new things. Apparently, we're having a gin distillery move in next month. One of the buildings is going to become a gin distillery right on the studio site. Taster sessions are going to be brilliant. Yeah, and so once it's set up and once we're rolling, people will be able to come in. The actual site itself is slap bang in the middle of Stoke-on-Trent, and so it's got very easy access. Yeah, I mean from the M6 and from Derby. Yeah, you're talking 2 minutes off the major roads. You know, off the bypass roads. You know, the sort of dual carriageway roads before you're on the site. So you know it's really easy to find because it's a council cultural site. Yeah, it's really well signposted to the site off all the major routes, and it's only like. How long would you say it takes to walk to the train station from the studio, mate? 5 minutes, casual?
5, 6. Something.
Yeah. I mean,
all you have to do is literally cross a bridge and walk to the right about 100 metres in there.
Yeah. You could just go across over a dual carriageway bridge. Go over a dual carriageway because the train station's on one side of the dual carriageway, which goes straight through the city, and the site is literally just on the other, which is why it's just off the dual carriageway. So really easy to get to, you know what I mean, logistics wise. Free parking on site, hotel on site, food on site, me on site. Yeah, the actual sessions, building, foam working, groundwork, grass work. I've still got to work them out of what we're doing. Yeah, what we're teaching. I haven't really given it much thought yet, you know what I mean?
It's just been something that's gone past your mind with the book.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so much to teach, but there's the idea that, okay, let's do workshops. And then there's the idea of, right, what are you actually going to teach in the workshops? And at the minute, yeah, I know there's loads of stuff I can teach, so I can do workshops. So I haven't drilled down to what the actual syllabus and the lesson plans will be. Yeah, I'm still working on the logistics of what I need to be able to do workshops in the first place. Do you know what I mean, dude?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so that's where we are. I don't even, cost-wise, I don't even know. They're going to be small classes, 6 to 8 top. I don't want big classes. I want, especially with terrain, you need a bit of working space. Yeah, so we'll keep it, nice and intimate. And what I'd like to do ideally is, run weekend workshops with the idea that it starts, we grab a little bit of breakfast first thing on the, on the Saturday morning, yeah, and then we sort of work through, have Saturday evening together, yeah, maybe go out for an evening meal. There's a lovely curry house around the corner.
Not good Wetherspoons.
To be truthful, you don't want to go for a Saturday evening meal in Wetherspoons, mate.
I would.
No, trust me, you don't, dude.
Why not?
Because okay, for us, Wetherspoons is like a safe bet if we want, a bit of food in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Witherspoons makes its name on cheap beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on a Saturday night it's where people go to get drunk. Yeah, so it's not where you want to go to sit down for a meal. But there's loads of really good, nice restaurants around the area that are walking distance. 2-minute walk. Because the pottery place, the site itself, was the foundation of Stoke Town. And the town was built up around it. So when I say everything is around where we are, everything is literally around where we are. Yeah.
Dad.
Can't wait to see gin and juice terrain from Mel. We'll have to have a gin tasting session.
God.
You should talk to Gerard. He does workshops all the time, albeit on location. Yeah, I want to hit Gerard up, and we are friends. Yeah, so I want to hit him up and just have a chat. And I know Luke APS has started doing some workshops as well. So next time I see him, I'll pull his ear and sort of see if he's got any tips and that sort of stuff. But I don't want to, because it's terrain making, I don't want to take it on tour, and I don't want to be turning up to a venue not knowing if it's going to be exactly right, or if anyone's told the venue how messy terrain making is. Yeah, I actually like the sort of Beasts of War style with the boot camp, where you roll in and you're all together and it's all set and everything you need is there. Because I mean, if I'm doing a workshop, if I need anything, and I'm next door to my own studio, then it's just right. Come on, guys, we'll bob in here. We'll get this out. We'll get this sorted. And I'm in my studio with absolutely everything there. And so the idea. Say again.
Hair.
Oh, you got a hair. It happens,
Can't
mate.
get it out. It's in the bloody fires.
We're gonna have tweezers somewhere. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, what you call it? James is saying Weatherspoons on a Saturday night. Ooh, no, yeah, exactly. But the idea would be we spend the day together. We go out for an early evening meal, yeah, and then after that we can perhaps go back to the workshop and either roll some dice, play some games, or if people want to work on their thing. The hotel is on site. Now, the hotel is a really good hotel. I'm not going to say it's not posh, because it is actually quite a really nice hotel. It's only just been developed, and I know the guy who owns it. Yeah, obviously, because he's on the site and we got to know him, and he took us on tour when he was developing the hotel. But it's also he's developing it as a conference place. Yeah. And so it's got bars and meeting rooms and, the normal sort of things where you expect with a conference hotel. But the way it works is, instead of it being bedrooms, they're lit like little bed sits. So each of the rooms comes basically with like a bed sit sort of room, but it comes with a kitchenette. Yeah, with a kettle, a hot plate, a microwave. And the basic idea is, if you're working in Stoke away from home and that sort of stuff, yeah, you can book it, and if you want to do any hot food and stuff in your room, you can, because you've got a sink and everything there. But it's only £45 a night, yeah, and I can probably get it on discount if I block book it. So it's dirt cheap accommodation, yeah, but it's really good. So if you fancy, I don't really fancy going out and eating, you can do that. What you could do is you could arrive on the Friday night and, right, I'll book for 2 nights and be on site bang on for the morning, save travelling up if you've got a long travel. If you do that, I'll meet you, we'll roll some dice and we'll go out for a bit of food on the Friday as well, if anyone wants to do that. And then, Sunday morning we wake up, we go round to the breakfast butty, shop that's just across the road. Yeah, look at that nod. That big. Do you want it fully loaded, lad? Yeah. Kadunk.
You know what's funny? The place is so small. It is, isn't it? It's compact between a Heron's and a Greg's. It's stuck in the middle of this tiny little cafe with one outside chair.
It's got room for a door and one chair outside. That's the outside dining area if you want to sit and smoke with your meal. Go on.
It's the best food ever for such a small place.
It's lovely food, but that's the basic idea. So I really like this idea of, if we do the workshops, we make a bit of a weekend jolly for them. Yeah, and to be truthful, I'd like to encourage as many people as possible to come up on the Friday night. Yeah, so we can have a little bit of a social, we can roll some dice, we can get to know each other and that sort of stuff. But the workshops will be Saturday and Sunday, you know. And basically I want to knock off about 4:30 on the Sunday. So everyone's getting home and no one's getting home too late. The other thing is, if they go well, yeah, and they do, you know, and it works out.
Get Fred in.
Well, I mean, we can get Fred in, that sort of stuff, but I'm tempted once a year, yeah, to run a week-long workshop, Monday to Friday. Yeah? Exactly the same setup, exactly the same idea, you know what I mean? Staying on site, you know, all that sort of thing. But I figure if I do a week-long workshop and we do it as like a package, then if there's anyone who would travel from outside the UK, yeah, they might not travel for a weekend workshop, but, you know, they might say, well, sod it, you know, my treat for this year is I'm going to go fly to the UK and go do Mel's workshop and come see sunny Stoke, one of the most deprived areas in the country.
It is, though.
And do you know what? Yeah, I was seeing a friend, yeah, earlier in the week, and he turned around to me and he says, you know where you live? Yeah, it was in the paper. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, go on, what now? Yeah, and apparently the street we live on is the most deprived area in Stoke-on-Trent.
This street?
Literally, within, you know, it goes by postcodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, literally between where, you know, the street that starts, don't say the names, but you know, the street that starts there, and the street that starts just down there, they make a triangle that we sit in. That postcode, slap bang, the very bottom.
Yeah, we're sitting here in such a nice little cozy little place.
Yeah, you know, lovely little family and a lovely little home. You know what I mean? Watching the blue lights go flashing by on a Saturday night.
Very correct.
Trying not to get stabbed at the park, eh? Depravity. There's a distinct lack of depravity, but there's definitely deprivation. No, but genuinely, I mean, Stoke is really deprived, and, you know, so the idea that people are going to fly in on holiday to spend a week in Stoke.
Fair enough, like. You're dying.
Shame. The people are lovely when they're not stabbing you. No, in truth.
Can I point something out? Remember that one time we were going past, what was it, that charity shop, and just casually we saw those two people just completely doing drugs in a bag, just walking past each other. You know,
Oh, it happens all the time, mate, in Stoke.
Bloody, literally randomly.
Obviously, we've got, you know, all sorts of social issues and that sort of thing. But luckily, the site is actually its own independent site with a big wall around it and 24-hour security. Yeah, so we're pardon me.
We're slightly safe.
The site is lovely. So anyway, yeah, that is the idea with the workshops. Obviously, we'll start probably talking about that in December time when we start. Yeah, you'd be amazed how many people do fly in for a week's holiday in Stoke. Most are USA and Japanese that come to visit Dalton, Wedgwoods for the park. Actually, yeah, the amount of Japanese one, because I mean, the site the studio's on is a ceramics site. It's the old Spode Works, yeah, and so the Spode Museum is there. We've just had the BCB exhibition there, which is the pardon me, the British the bicentennial, the British Ceramics Bicentennial, huge work, you know, show. So yeah, we do. Oh, the cat's saying, "No, Mel, you're looking at it wrong. Folks are going to be flying in to spend a week with you. Stoke is just a side benefit." Have you been watching your D-Day design board you did, which is awesome? Have you got a link to the vid with the rocks being painted? That was I think the D-Day project.
That was years ago now.
3 years.
Actually, We saw that on it. It's a
Yeah, we saw that at Warlord Open Game. We played on it, didn't we?
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But that
you kicked my arse, didn't you?
I did.
Right, royally.
The Germans came up the right side.
Yeah, you flanked me and just...
climbed up the cliff and decimated you and my...
I wasn't. I didn't build that cliff to be climbable. Yeah, so I was not expecting, because I built the board, so it's like, no, that isn't a climbable area, that is a climbable area. Yeah, and so I'm playing and I'm thinking I'm perfectly fine for those, they can't jump up there, but the guy who was DMing the game, he just went, yeah, you can climb up there. I was like, as these, like, you know, special forces just popped up with their submachine guns and, like, you know, my units just disappeared in short order. I think, we either covered the painting in the actual project log or have a look in the Hills, Cliffs and Rocks playlist, because we did look at it in there as well. Yeah, so I think there's some videos on painting those rocks in there. Right, back to the questions. Right, Dommy's asking, hello Mel, thanks for all the help here and all the YouTube videos. Two-part question. First, Mod Podge, I don't get it. You mix it with colour to protect your work. Then all this acrylic stuff, medium varnish, and so. Do I need it? No, I don't use Mod Podge. I very rarely use Mod Podge. I've never used... I've occasionally used it to seal up some wood stuff before it's painted, but most times I just slap acrylic on. So, yeah, and to be perfectly honest, I probably built for about 15 years before I even bought Mod Podge. So no, you don't need it. Okay, so it's good, but you don't need it.
What is Mod Podge?
A Mod Podge is basically PVA with a gel. So it's a gel PVA. I mean, it's got other stuffs in to make it matte or gloss and other stuff, but it's just basically PVA. In my case, the terrain is static and not moved, but will be played on. Yeah, just some do and don't would help a lot. To be perfectly honest, if it's delicate stuff and you've got Mod Podge, give it a coat before, give it a slightly thinned down coat before painting it up, just to toughen it up. But you can just apply a coat of thin PVA and that will do the same. If you're not moving your terrain around a bit, you can make it a little bit more delicate and have delicate features. But if there's areas on it that you're going to be playing on and models are going to be placed on, they need to be firmed up, mate. And that's the best do's and don'ts. Keep the delicate stuff out of the way, and firm up, any play areas.
Point out, why is this actually dangerous? It's just ripped through the tissue accent. What dangerous character.
It's because it's covered in spikes.
Yeah. Dangerous geezer.
Right. Okay, next question.
How many questions do you got left?
I've got about 5, 6.
Put more questions in. I don't want to go upstairs.
You've only got 40 minutes tops anyway. Right. Ung. Ung? Is that Ung? How would you say that?
Ung.
Ung, yeah.
Ung.
Unga?
Ung.
Right. How's your writing going after your illness? Been a bit dodgy this week, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. A little bit rough over the weekend, but still cracking on. I'm just finishing things off now, so I'm a happy man. Right, Christoph is asking, what is, in your humble opinion, here we go, the most difficult season climate, terrain to make? Probably winter. Yeah, the reason why I say winter is because winter is the only one which is an effect in itself. The rest just generally change the colours of what you're doing. Spring, things are more yellowy green. Autumn, they're more orangey brown. In the middle, they're green. Yeah, but when you get to winter, you start to get into ice, icicles, wet ground, snow build-up, snow drifts, snow scatter.
Stuff you don't want.
Yeah, but you get into all these effects, and they are additional techniques on top, of the normal ones. So with regards to the most difficult, it is clearly winter, because it involves more work and making things work better. And it introduces new factors such as icicles and things like that, which, none of the other seasons sort of factor in. And which sort of terrain in general the most difficult? Rocks, trees, or buildings? I'd personally had buildings, yeah. I think the thing is, with rocks, trees, and everything like that, nature's a bit weird. If you make a mistake,
it looks kind of normal.
Yeah, it looks normal. Yeah, because nature's weird like that. Yeah, you make a mistake with a building,
it looks like special.
Yeah, it looks special. We don't say that on YouTube.
But I mean, I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong, but it's not sort of a phrase that you really want to use on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't look quite right. Lastly, you feeling better since Thursday? Yeah, picked up a bit, mate, to be perfectly honest.
What are you doing?
Mazamundi? Hello, Dave. Do you want to build a stone? Hello, Dave. Gonna have to come down and see you soon, mate.
Dave?
Let me get... Dave, little Dave.
Oh, Dave.
Jump, Dave. Bandai!
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to you in so long. Oh my god, how are you doing?
Well, we'll go. Last I spoke to him, he was doing all right. Yeah, we'll keep all that sort of stuff off channel. Yeah. But yeah, Dave, I'll come down and see you soon. Do you fancy a jolly?
Yeah, of course I do.
That's made my night.
I'm still a little rice ball.
You're still his little rice. Right, to explain it. Mazamundi in the chat, is a friend of mine. I haven't seen him in ages. I need to catch up with him. You know how it gets, and time flies. As these things do. Yeah, and they shouldn't, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, lives about an hour away. But he got into bot action with us. And he trained Corbin up in his Japanese. Called him his little rice ball. Do you remember that farting session?
Oh,
that chemical warfare session?
Oh, man.
Dave, we're going to have to get together, mate. We're going to have to. People often forget that snow gets everywhere and fail to model it. True, very true. Thanks, great. I'm doing Battle of the Balls, so winter, darn it. Tough for you, buddy. Right. Okay. So with regards to what's difficult to build, buildings are the most challenging. Right. Sam's asking on Twitch. Great, Mal. Do you have any other internet presence other than YouTube or Facebook, or do you have any plans for such other things? Right. Okay. Right. Yes. Blazing Saddles, a bit like that. Right. And when I came to to YouTube, I didn't come to set up the internet business sort of thing.
I'd like to point out this man's got spikes in his skin.
Of course, he's an orcs. Yeah, I didn't come for the for the business side. I wanted to just do some tutorials, so I just went to YouTube. So I registered lots of other platforms along the way, but I never really used them. So, the YouTube grew and the other ones didn't. So, over winter, the plan is to actually build the others up and start using my website, because I've got a domain name and I haven't done anything. Yeah, I've had a domain name for 5 years. I posted on it once.
What did you post on it?
I think I just, that was, this is me. This is the web page for the terrain tutor. Do I didn't even know what to post on it, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so the idea is to go back and, let's structure this. Let's actually use all of these. Because I need to grow the channel back up. It's dropped down quite a bit. You know what I mean? Since... Actually, it's good. It's popping slightly back up a bit. Yeah, but it has slowed down a bit, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, and so I need to sit down, I need to I need to grow it back a little bit. And so, the back... Sorry, got a little distracted there. Yeah, and so... I do not know why I like this channel, especially the live broadcast. Because it's the way we roll. Big congrats on 130k subs. Whoop whoop. I know that's ironic, but I've actually got my lowest growth rate I've had in something like 4 years at the minute. Because I'm not posting videos at the minute. Yeah, so, once over winter, we're going to grow it back up. I'm going to start using, all the social stuff. And hopefully, we can step it up. Yeah, what you call it? Right.
Oh, it's nearing end now.
Red Green's asking, have been to Stonehenge. Does look like what they show in the pics. Yes, Stonehenge does look like what it looks like in the pics. Yeah. A lot of big rocks. I mean, there's actually quite a few henges around it as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's not just Stonehenge.
There's henges around Stonehenge.
Yeah. It was a very large monumental site. So there's processional ways up to Stonehenge.
Give it a minute.
What? Henges around Stonehenge?
No.
So yeah, anyway, with regards to Stonehenge, yeah, yes, it does look like it looks like in the pics. You can't get close anymore though, right? No, it is sectioned off now because it's a World Heritage Site. And it was getting damaged, people, some people put graffiti on it. Yeah, and so they closed it all off. And I think the only scientists, archaeologists and stuff like that can get access to it with permission. And then finally the Druids, at the various, equinoxes and their religious holidays, because it's it's a religious site for the Druids and it's still used as a religious site. So,
Druids are actually a religion.
Yeah, what you call it? Have you not seen here? Let me pull up Google. Druids at Stonehenge. They are. Every year at the equinox, they go and hold their ceremonies and, the Druids.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's still a religious site for the Druids. But do you see why back in the day when, when people used to stand on top of the actual flat rocks, the ones across the top, that's why they had to close it down, because it was getting damaged. Hello. Yeah. And so, but no, every year, and they have done since the Roman times. But yeah, Stonehenge does look like Stonehenge. It's beautiful.
I never even knew that Druids were an actual religion. I thought it was just something like games.
Yeah, it's Celtic, isn't it?
I didn't know that.
No, well, you just thought it was computer games.
Yeah, I just thought it was movies, computer games, stuff like that. The Druids are actually a thing in.
Where's the Druid village on Anglesey? 1 second. I need to show the boys something. Druid village on Angle. I so wish I could show you this sort of stuff, but bloody copyright. No, not that one. That's the barrow we used to sleep in.
What?
See that barrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and your Uncle Henry, we used to camp in it. You can't get in it now, it's all sectioned off. Dinlewig, that's the one I want. Ancient village. So how do you spell... right. Din. L-L-I-G-W-Y. Ancient village. Yeah. Do you see this ancient village? Yeah, that they show.
Yo.
Yeah. Do you see that bit right there?
Yeah.
That's where I sat with Nan. Yeah, and I threw up because it was the first time I drank cider on a picnic. You can't get at this now. It's all sectioned off. It's all, yeah. You see the sort of top of it?
Oh,
yeah. But as a kid, I used to run across the top of these walls. Yeah, and they date back from before the Romans. And I used to, I'll be honest with you, it's embarrassing to say this, but do you see how you got the little rocks in between? They built the walls by putting big rocks and putting infill. As a child, and I'm saying pre-primary school child here, you know, I was very young. I can remember taking rocks out the middle of that to play with. Yeah, and that dates back to the Romans, and I took rocks out the middle because when I was a child, and back in the 70s, it was just somewhere where you went. Love you, darling. Yeah, I'll get the door. You know, you went with your families. You know, we had a picnic there. You know, it wasn't listed or anything like that. And it was only afterwards that they realised how important the site was. And they sort of fenced it all off.
You have a family picnic yet?
Yeah, but here you are, mate. We used to, me and your brother Martin, we used to run along the boundary.
Martin could run?
Martin could run.
Couldn't give you that one.
Yeah, your Uncle Martin was almost airframes tech in the in the RAF.
Damn, man.
Yeah, he better. So, yeah, and he was an air cadet. He was a petrol pigeon. So, anyway, sorry, got a little distracted there. Oh, shut up. Yeah, but yeah, talking about ancient, but yeah, Stonehenge does look like Stonehenge. Right, Diggers Outdoor. Have you ever thought about using Arduino or Arduino?
Have a look. Wait,
Arduino. Or some other method to put motion in any layout. I was thinking of making a working shackle line or for... No.
Well, cool.
I'm assuming Arduino is some sort of waterproof material. Open source electronic prototype platforming. Right, it's electronic control. No, I have this thing with electronics and terrain and stuff like that. And it goes back to the wargaming side where ages ago they started putting lights in tanks by adding LEDs. And I always felt that it became it made them look like toys and not models. Yeah, and so it's something I've never really done with terrain. It's something I'm going to have to look at for the channel. Yeah, but it's not something I do or I've really thought about.
I mean, I've seen it on a couple of tables.
I've seen it.
Smoke.
And I've seen tables with smoke and lighting effects, and they do look good. But you know what I mean. For me, it's not something I've gone down the route of. But there is something I'm looking at that could use that and would work well with it. Right, Jason's saying that happened a lot in the 80s, really, when historical conscience really kicked in the UK. Thank goodness for the National Trust, English Heritage. We're members of both now.
Are we?
Yeah, we're English Heritage and National Trust. I mean, to be truthful, the National Trust is more things like Brean Down. We're not really stately home house people, are we?
I mean,
Nan is. Yeah, but we like castles and that sort of stuff, which is English heritage.
Do you understand how many of those have gone to with Nan?
You've gone to tons with Nan, but you've gone tons to us.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Druid religion reborn in the 60s by some guy using it to host paid workshops? Or am I thinking of the Wiccans? To be truthful, on all the pagan religions, they've always been spin-offs. I mean, the thing about the pagan religions is there's no real set Bibles. Everyone's got their own take. Because
Quite a dangerous thing to say, Dad.
Say again.
Could be quite a dangerous thing to say.
No, it isn't. Because if you look at like Judaism, if you look at the monotheistic religions, the ones that have a single God. Yeah. Judaism and its derivatives, Christianity, Islam, Yeah, they all have like religious books. Yeah, which set down who people are, what was said, how things work. Yeah, when you go to the sort of the polytheistic, monotheism, is it polytheistic? Polytheism. When you go to the multiple gods, the pagan religions, because pagan just basically means a panthera of gods, multiple gods. Yeah, they were sort of pre-writing times. Yeah, and so it's a lot more word of mouth. They don't have Bibles as such structure, and so people, anyone can sort of take them and sort of use them how they want, a little.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Set rules.
Yeah, because you got to remember the pagan religions. They covered the Egyptian religions, the Mayan religions. You know what I mean? Even I'm not sure on this, but I think even the native American Indian, religions are pagan, because they have multiple spirits, polytheistic. Thanks, Tam.
Polytheistic.
Yeah, so around the sort of pagan stuff, it was it's a little bit fuzzier, whereas the monotheistic religions, because they have a religious text, they're a lot more structured, and people can't come along and go, he did it. Yeah, they can't sort of like, well, they still do co-opt it into their own sort of little twisted little versions, because you always have little offshoots of every religion, which is a bit weird. You've got, with most religions, you've got the mainstay, which is the majority of people, which just want to live a good life and they're following their beliefs. And then with every religion, around the fringes, there's always the nutters, just like there is with everything in society. Yeah, even chefing. Most chefs just want to make nice food, but you always have a nutter like that. A guy who makes breakfasts out of, he does poached eggs and puts pears in and yogurt to make it look like.
Are you all right?
No, there's a guy. Brits will know him. The guy, the chef who makes meals to look like one thing out of something else. I'm
not having that.
No, I'll have to show him afterwards. Someone send me. Stone him. Don't mention castles. He did it. There is no true English paganism since the Romans destroyed Anglesey. I used to live on Anglesey. Beautiful place. Heston Blumenthal. That's him. Have you not heard of Heston Blumenthal? There you go, lad. Since we're just on a little meander, as we do on these shows, we'll jump back in the question. Yeah, OBE, proprietor. He's an experimental chef. Yeah.
Oh God.
But he does meals. Yeah, and they're not, they're not like normal meals. So things like that. I'll have to show you, because he does. There was a show that he did where he was really messing with people's head with food.
That's just wrong in every way.
I'll find you a clip, lad. I liked Heston's recipe for sliced hedgehog on Ritz crackers. Yeah. Snail porridge. Yeah, I remember when he did snail porridge. Oh no, I'm not joking, mate. Snail porridge, Heston.
Oh, that is disgusting, man.
That's Heston.
Why would you take the time out of your life to create that?
That's what he does.
You could make a really, really nice steak. No. Snail porridge. Let's make that what our body remembers.
He did something with smells in a film. Yeah. To make to reinforce the film. Yeah, he introduced smells into the film. And so let's say some of those smells that he introduced were bodily smells for an intimate scene. The guy is whacked. He's great. Right, I better get back to these questions. So yeah, with regards to Digger's question, no, I don't really do the technology stuff and the control systems, but it is something I want to look at. Right, we're 10 past the hour now, so I'm switching off the questions. We've got enough. I've got about 3 more, so we can keep ticking. My great PA was Chechenyan. He was amazing, man. Nice one. Shane, what?
Shane, something like that. It's an Indian tribe. That's
yeah.
Some of the main ones. I remember learning about it, but still can't pronounce any of their names. Like Waknatanka.
Waknatanka?
Yeah, it's got one that like spirits or something.
Yeah, called Waknatanka.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Right.
Especially when kids pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, of course. Taking inspiration from Mel, Heston is doing a Kickstarter for his new book. 1001 Ways to Walk Your Dog. Okay, Dylan Pigg's asking, I hope you're feeling better. I am feeling a bit better. Yeah, I've built a church and was wondering what you advise for the stained glass windows. Stained glass windows, it's normally quality street wrappers.
That'd work, actually.
Yeah, it does. That's why we use them. The thin coloured see-through plastic that they wrap quality streets in.
How many quality street boxes do you buy then?
Well, you don't. You just buy one. You know what I mean? But, you go for the different colours and then you just put them in between 2 sheets of, like, your window stain.
There's like a double one.
Yeah, beyond that, I mean, you've got clear acetate. There is something called gallery glass, but it's a bit too thick for what you're doing. What you can also do is just get a bit of plastic from a blister pack, from a model blister pack, and you can paint it, with acrylic inks. Just paint the inks over it. Takes a little bit to get a decent covering, but you can do it that way. Currently the windows are empty and I'm thinking of installing a light side, so I need a material that can shine through. Best one is always quality street wrappers, mate. Cellophane will work, yeah. James is saying Native Americans are more shamanistic, worshipping the spirits of nature, not gods per se. To be truthful, the British pagans were the same. Yeah, they worship nature, but they are still pagan. We use the term God, but essentially what you want the term God is very sort of...
I know the Native Americans planted buffalo hearts in the ground.
They did all sorts.
To resurrect herds and stuff.
Yeah, but what you call it? You throw me completely off. But a lot of the pagan religions, the Celtic ones, they didn't have gods as such. I mean, the Norse had gods, not the Norse, the Norsemen, the Vikings. But the Druids, they followed nature. Yeah, so very much the same. But essentially in paganism, it's not a god or a top boss. It's more the idea of a deity, a higher level spirit. Red Green's just saying get soda bottle plastic. Yeah, colour. That's actually a brilliant idea. I never thought of that. Jimmy's saying acetate sheets and Sharpie pens. Another good one. Right. P.S. Did you get to see the model of EM Village made out of cake? No.
Pardon?
Is that
Do
where...
you have a link for that?
We're Googling it now. It's been made out of cake.
Oh my god. Oh, it's fruitcake.
Oh, it's fruitcake. He's not interested. We've been there.
Have we? Wait.
Yeah, that's the village we really like, EM Village. Where we go for the whatchamacallit? We go and play in the water and with the castle and...
Oh yeah. I actually know where you're on about for once.
I know where you...
Oh my god.
I can't play the video.
Why not? Just pause all this for a second.
An entire village has been recreated out of cake to raise funds for the community. Spent 3 months building Elam using 65 different cakes baked by residents of the Derbyshire village. Yeah, it's a beautiful village. If you're ever in the Derbyshire area and you get a chance to actually go visit Elam, yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Put Eam Castle.
That is the place, isn't it?
Put castle at the end of it, and then you'll see.
I don't think that's the place, actually. I think that's a different village in Derbyshire. Have we been there? Because it's Elam we like, isn't it?
Earlham,
yeah.
that's not near Buddy.
We're talking about the wrong bloody village. But it still looks brilliant, and they made it out of cake. That's now porridge.
No, I was going to say Earlham.
That's brilliant, actually. I love that.
Earlham's near Buddy Alton Towers.
Yeah, Earlham is the village we like. Yeah, Dickie's saying I agree with that one, Corb. Yeah. I'm not a big... Actually, I do like a little bit of fruitcake, but it's a bit overpowering.
I hate stuff, it's fruit.
It's fruit.
Chocolate, fair enough.
Isn't that the place where the plague rumoured to have begun? Yeah, it's the plague village.
Yeah, I suppose I couldn't take a bite at the top of the cake.
Yeah.
It's at the top of the church. Taking the top of
And yes, well, I suppose we've got to deal with the bubonic plague coming back around when it gets released out of the ice.
Oh god, oh jeez. That could happen.
Yeah, it is happening.
Wait, what?
No, actually, because ice caps are melting.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the previous diseases of history, the bacteria which survives freezing and it just sits there inert is in the ice. So as it releases, the bacteria enters the water. Your Atlantic cod comes along and eats the bacteria. Yeah, someone picks up and has a nice bit of Atlantic cod, eats the bacteria, and hey ho, bubonic plague time again. Bird flu, Spanish flu. God, can you imagine what's in there? Right. Anyway, moving on. Let me get back to my questions.
Moving on from the end of the world, let's continue.
Right, Bartorzek. Not exactly a terrain question, but what was the last war game you played? Probably a bit of bolt action with Corb, but the last game we played was Blood Bowl last night. Actually, earlier.
I had a plan.
You've had a plan?
Send a letter to North Korea to bomb the ice cap.
Oh, God, no. Stop. Just stop. You'll have me banned off YouTube or something like that when you go on one of these, like... we'll get these guys to do these guys to do this guy, and then it's all sorted.
While pointing out 17 of the worst people in the world in the middle of it all.
My parents used to get fruitcake from the UK in Christmas. I just ate the frosting from the top. To be truthful, fruitcake. It's the traditional wedding cake in Britain.
What?
Yeah. Or what you call it? All wedding cakes are made from fruitcake. Yeah, because the reason being is traditionally you make 3 tiers and you're supposed to save one of the tiers. Yeah, for the christening of the kids. Okay.
So only fruitcake.
And fruitcake's the only one that preserves. Yeah, because it doesn't go off, so it can be saved. Yeah, obviously the icing goes incredibly hard. Yeah, but
like trying to eat a brick.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is at British weddings, yeah, when it comes to the wedding cake, no, people only eat the icing anyway.
No, actually, I eat your cake because I've never been to a wedding that hasn't had like a normal cake.
Yeah, that's because actually it's become practice. Yeah, that when they do the cakes, yeah, the one that they're saving for the christening they'll make out of fruit.
Oh, so do it
But
differently.
the one that they do for the cutting ceremony, they make out of sponge, so people actually enjoy it because as part of a wedding. Well, no, as part of a wedding, yeah, everyone has a slice of cake because that's part of the cutting ceremony.
Imagine your child's christening and he gets a fruit cake.
Well, the kid ain't. I mean, the child's christening is when he's a baby.
Yeah, but still, man.
But the wedding cake is cut at the christening. Oh, that's what it used to be.
Kid gets fruit cake at his christening. That's wrong. There's a big mountain off him, but a fruit cake. I'd have to have a chocolate cake. I'd be like, be gone. I'm not having this.
Yeah, and I think I'm supposed to try and keep the lads in line. I often fail miserably. Me too. Wine, lots of wine, and then tequila shots. Yeah. But yeah, game wise, we are. with everything, with having quite a lot on at the minute, we're enjoying Blood Bowl, to be truthful. Yeah, just from the fact that we can we can just set it up quickly on the table, you know, we can play, and we're getting good at it, aren't we? Oh, yeah, guys.
Yeah, we still get thrashed by anybody outside this house.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, me and you, we have a good time.
Yeah,
And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how we rate against anyone else.
You know, the two going for it, and like, you think you're the winner.
Oh, we're loving going for it.
Now, that one move where I skipped between about 3 of your people and tackled your catcher with 10 movement.
That was wrong. Right. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to be starting playing more games and that sort of stuff. Right. Final question of the night with about 10 minutes to go. Right, David. David?
David.
It looks David.
Wait, how's it spelled? David.
David, alright. It's handy having him here, isn't it? Greetings, Mel. It's a good question. I've seen the show before, but not caught live, so welcome aboard, buddy.
Hi.
It's hard living in Thailand to be on. Well, glad you made it, mate. Hope you enjoy it. Right, so my question. Build on what Sam says. What exactly do you have plans for on the internet for the terrain tutor after the book is complete? Whew, right, okay. Fundamentally, yeah, it's... yeah. Yeah. Fundamentally, it's not really anything new. It's using the social media platforms and that sort of stuff to really actually get out what I'm currently doing and stuff like that. So the hope is that when I do my big videos, I'll be able to do lots of little videos in them and take clips out of them and push those to social media. Things like the blog page, the website pages. I'll be able to build up resources on there with material lists and stuff like that, and blog posts. And basically, it's half promotion because, you know, this pays the bills now, so I need to do it. You know what I mean? It's you know.
Can't exactly skip it.
Well, no, I've got to take it seriously. You know, when I started, you know what I mean, and it grew, and you know, it was great, and it supported us. Yeah, but going forward, I've got to keep that momentum going, and so I've got to put energy into it. You know what I mean? And do it properly. Yeah, so it'll be coming up with a proper structure, you know, to how I post and what sort of things I post, posting more regularly, using it a lot more to communicate. And then secondly, you know, the patron side, I want to revamp that. I want to bring in new sort of rewards and stuff, and do patron properly. Because it is the people who got me to this point. Previously, I've just used Patreon as a way of, you know, people who like what I do, supporting me. Yeah, but I want to use it as a way of rewarding them. I also want to use it as a way of, after I've done the videos, giving feedback beyond what I give in the videos. Because you know what it's like, you'll do a video, a couple of days later, you'll think I should have talked about that. So Patreon's actually a good way of me actually going back to videos, yeah, and expanding them. Yeah, and, you know, doing that for the people who support me, I'm hoping, you know, that'll be a bit of a pull to sort of reward, you know, you are the guys that actually help me make these videos, so this is where I'm focusing this information. Jace keeps telling me that I should have a pledge level that includes Mel recommends, and I should recommend everything from books to films to music to food.
Music?
Actually, I've got good taste in music.
You do. So it's alright except for the bloody dodgy stuff the
it's alright except for the dodgy stuff. Right, we've got 10 minutes left on this show. Come on. Yeah. Bring it.
Go on, get up your phone, let's pull your playlist, because I know there's some dodgy things that just have like one word and a bunch of some dodgy pagan stuff.
Dodgy pagan stuff. Right. What?
Give me a sec. Give me a sec.
No,
no, pass me your bloody phone. It's been dodgy. Where's YouTube? I want to get up something.
No, you're not going on YouTube.
No.
What on YouTube?
No, you ready?
I'm concerned. The lad has my phone. And listen, don't play a YouTube video because of copyright. Right, what is it?
Ready, if you play it round, this is over, right? That's what the kind of stuff you're stupid.
That's it.
Like.
I don't listen.
No.
I don't.
No. Play it after the stream, and I swear down on my life that sounds like the kind of dodgy stuff you play in the bloody kitchen when you're sitting there on your phone by yourself in the dark.
When I'm writing.
Room. Yeah. You've got a dodgy music on.
Right,
I come down and I walk right back up again because I can't be bothered.
Okay. Right. Okay. Quite a few of you will already know, yeah, that when I'm writing, yeah, and Jace will confirm this, my muse, the music I like to listen to, is Enya. Yeah. Corb thinks Enya. Yeah. I can't play it due to copyright and play, YouTube and that sort of stuff. Yeah. But this is what Corb thinks Enya is.
That's what it sounds like.
Slavic pagan war drums. Oh, lad. I'm going to have to play it. Where have you heard? How do you even know what Slavic pagan war drums?
I'm not actually sure. It just popped up.
How did you even know what to search for to find that?
I don't know.
What did you search for to find that? What did you type in?
Slavic pagan war.
So you literally typed in Slavic pagan war drums?
Yeah.
Where did the term Slavic pagan war drums?
In all honesty.
Because in all honesty, I've never come across the term Slavic pagan war drums, and consider I've spent most of my life in the wargaming hobby, you would have thought I'd come across them.
I'm trying to think back actually. I think at one point I was trying to learn the USSR national anthem.
Wait, how did you get... Wait, in Russian?
Yeah.
You were learning the US national anthem.
No.
In Russian.
No. USSR.
Oh, you were learning the USSR.
Yeah, United States of Soviet Russia.
It's not the United States.
No. It must be.
No.
USSR. It must be. There's nothing else that could stand for.
The United Soviet Republic.
I give up. I'm not
The United States. United States of Russia. USR. Oh God, it hurts. I was learning the anthem of the United States of Russia, the USR. It's what I have to live with, guys. That's it. United Soviet Socialist Republic, that's it.
You were wrong as well.
I only trained to go to war against them, mate. We called him the bear.
Well, so I was trying to learn the USSR national anthem, and then somehow that popped up, and it sounded funny. So I clicked on it, and yeah.
Right, okay. Right, so yeah, that's the plans for the terrain tutor. I understand the need for basic non-thinking music while you craft. You can get too distracted with good music. Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I find. There's a lot of of music that, I find can be distracting. Also, podcasts and stuff like that can take you off what you're trying to achieve. And so just simple music works really well. Right. Oh. United States or Russia? Just as what you're doing history and not geography, son. Oh, right. Right. Oh. I think we're going to call it there. I don't think we can finish this show any better than the United States of Russia. I'm leaving it on that one. Right, guys. I'll be in the studio over the week. We'll have a live show on Thursday, and I'll catch you then. Fingers crossed we'll be wrapping all this crazy book stuff up at the end of the month. So, yeah, all good things. In the meantime, thanks for a brill show, guys. I've really needed this tonight. It's been a good perker up after I've been getting myself up and over the lurgy.
Thanks for ripping into me.
Dude. Love you, lad.
Love you.
Right, I'm going to call it, guys, yeah. I'll see you in the week. All the best, yeah? Ta. Look after yourself and have a good week, yeah? All the best.